What's that story you've never been able to tell? When I was 17, I worked at a grocery store with a guy named Jack, just a normal guy, and I didn't really think much of him. One day, he told me about how he lived in an apartment by himself and that his neighbors were absolutely crazy, yelling at him to be quiet and pounding against the wall to get him to shut up, even though he wasn't doing anything. I didn't really care much. A couple of days went by, and I noticed that Jack wasn't showing up anymore. After a month or two, he finally showed up at work again. I asked him where he'd been, and he said he was fired because he was in the hospital. I asked him why he was in the hospital, and he told me it was for personal reasons. Fast forward a couple of days, when I was talking to another coworker who was good friends with Jack. He said, "Did you hear what happened to Jack?" "Yeah, he was in the hospital and got fired or something." "Do you know why though?" "No." He said, "It was personal. So here's what happened. A couple of months ago, before Jack disappeared, he was at home by himself when his neighbors started yelling at him through the walls for being too loud. Jack, telling himself, 'I've had enough,' decided to call the police and have them deal with it. Hours went by with the police and the neighbors. So he called the police again to ask, 'What's taking so long?' The police responded, we left about an hour and a half ago." It turns out that the neighbors were never yelling at him. In fact, they were never there. Jack was schizophrenic and was hearing voices in his head. He had to go to a mental hospital for a month.